What's up, everybody? It's Avcami. Today we're gonna do a video that is, a little different than usual. I've always wanted to just kind of like cruise around and just talk. Simply. Subi's a bit dirty right now. But let's talk about Forza. Let's talk about the future of Forza. Now, obviously, I'm no game developer, nor will I say that my opinion is right compared to everybody else's, you know what I mean? But I've played Forza since Forza Motorsport 4. I've been here for a while. I've seen a lot of changes. Throughout Forza, before, we would always have places, and they're like cool places, a lot of people are there, whether people are drifting around, just sitting there doing nothing. Or roads like this one. That's why on this map, on this DLC map, Sierra Nueva, the majority of people are just on this singular road right here and surrounding roads. See? A big problem now with all games, not even just Forza, is that, it's good business decisions to want more people to come to your game or your performance or whatever. It makes sense. But what game developers keep doing is straying away from the core audience that actually enjoys their games. They don't care about their opinions, they just want the masses' opinions. When the core audience opinions are the ones that actually make the game good. Let's take a look at this map. We're taking away everything. Look at this map. This whole map is entirely the same. Twisty dirt roads. Festival on dirt. Twisty tarmac roads. It's all the same. And don't get me wrong, that's cool. I love twisty roads. Because my favorite aspect of driving is driving. So I love driving through corners. But the problem is the entire map feels exactly the same. The better Forza maps are always the ones where it felt like you had destinations to go to. For the base Horizon 5 map, if you're just driving around, you'll always end up on the Goliath Road. You'll always end up going through the same corners. Because there's nowhere to go. You know what I mean? Everything's just the same. There's no random city that could pop up with stop signs and, sure, I understand, that'll come with where the game is based. But no Forza before has ever had that. Even the one in Colorado. It had a town, which felt very modern. Same with Australia, it had a very modern city, but there were no streetlights. There was no pedestrians walking across the road on crosswalks. There was no gas stations, you know what I mean? And I feel like that is the only way Forza will be able to stay alive. For Forza Motorsport, they want to be, Xbox's prime simulation for racing on track. Why don't they do that for Horizon? Don't make it arcade. Make it driving simulation, Horizon 6, the first day, I want to go to a fucking driving school that makes me follow the speed limit so I can get my license before I can start a single race. You know what I mean? Instead of opening the game to have 50 barn finds for cars that are $150 million. No. I want progression to earn cars like that. It makes things special. I want to start in a beat little Civic, struggling. Because this goes for every aspect of life. There is no reward for getting something unless there's a struggle. Otherwise, you're just giving it to yourself. And that's what they do. They just give us all these things. And they give us all these cars. Or for other games, they give us all these supplies just for nothing. Doing nothing. For buying the game early. Which I guess that makes sense. Pre-ordering it, paying the higher price, whatever. You know what I mean? We need progression. If you want your game to survive, you have to give the feeling that we are alive in this game. This has to be a second universe. When I was younger, obviously, that's why I enjoyed it so much, was because it felt like life didn't exist. This was life. And then I could step out of it, and then I'm back to real life. And even though it still feels like that for me, obviously I've grown. And I have a lot more knowledge now. But don't get me wrong. If I really want to send it through these canyons, it feels great. Am I complaining about this game? In some aspects, yes. Fuck. It's good for driving, it's good for drifting. On the base map, there's a highway which is predominantly straight, instead of a massive corner like Horizon 4. Straight corner, straight. Yeah, no. But it feels really good. Like, I'm just mobbing through here in this Subaru, not worried about a thing. And I understand, like, police, that's never really been an aspect of Horizon. Everything we do here is looked at as legal. But I feel personally that freedom is why so many people get burnt out of Forza so easily. In real life, you don't get burnt out of driving because you have speed limits and rules of the road to follow. So unless you're driving on a track every single day of your life, it's really hard to get burnt out of a car. But on Forza, like I said before, day one you're given a Lamborghini, day one you're given a Ferrari, and then now you're going 290 down the freeway, going around corners at 170 miles an hour, And yeah, that's great. But it really takes away from the joy of driving. Not only the joy of driving, but the joy of progression of how to drive. And I understand I'm playing on a wheel now. And obviously, using a wheel with force feedback is a lot more immersive than a controller. But even when I was on controller, there's still many aspects you can feel similar to a real life car. You could feel the weight. You could feel different things just by driving. Get all of these overtakes real quick. Excuse us. Let's totally switch up the dynamic of the conversation we're having. Why do you play Forza? When you wake up in the morning or get home from work or school and you want to play Forza, what makes you want to play Forza? 9 times out of 10, well, I guess nowadays, I'd say a good 8 times out of 10, it's because you want to drive one of your favorite cars. Whether that be a Subaru Impreza, or whether that be a Nissan Skyline, or a Dodge Challenger. It doesn't matter. You think of that car, and you want to drive it somehow. And you want to enjoy that car for what it is. There's other people with different interests in the game, of course. Maybe they want to race, maybe they just want to cruise, maybe they want to drift. But either way, I imagine they still find their motivation by thinking of a specific car that they want to drive in the moment. And that's what it's about. Car enthusiasm. People are here to drive cars, whether they're younger people or older people. They're here to drive cars. They're not here to play games. They're not here to do all this other stuff. Sometimes, sure, people definitely play this game as a game. But the only reason they would play this game above all the other games is because they want to drive cars. So that is what the story needs to be about. Teach us how to drive cars. I remember on Forza Motorsport 4, I'm not sure about other Forzas that may have had this, but I remember on Motorsport 4 specifically, in the Forza Vista menu, you could click play, and then Jeremy Clarkson or James May or Richard Hammond, if you don't know them, look them up, but one of them would be speaking about the car, about the history of the car, about how it was made, about the races it won, about different aspects of the car's history and heritage, and you understood how special that car truly was. But now, story mode is flying a Lamborghini off of the side of a mountain. And if you don't, then you can't even progress. It's like, what? Like, whose mans is running this bitch right now? For real. And of course, that's motorsport, not Horizon. But still, in my opinion, that sort of legendary status that we can put behind cars that we like comes from things like that. Understanding the history, maybe it's... And not only that, but the majority of schools, at least when I was in school, they'll have some books on cars, but they won't have books on a PLP 50, you know. So giving the Forza player huge amounts of information like that about cars they drive all the time is just like a little piece that makes that car even more special to them. They feel more bonded with the car. And since you give us so many cars for free, we have no time to really find that bond with a car like we could in real life. In real life, you get your first car, you find that bond. No matter what it is, you'll find that bond. Because you spend so much time with that car, you make so many memories with that car. And whether you're on the road or on dirt, or if you really like the cross-country stuff, you're still doing it for the joy of driving. Seeing a car's limits being tested. But instead of showing us the true car that it is at heart, they give us the ability to put 1,500 horsepower into every single vehicle we want. Which, hey, is great, you know. Some sleeper Subarus. So there's just two sides to this. And that's kind of the... not a problem, but it's just a battle. An everlasting battle that I imagine the inside of Forza development is constantly going through. Because they just need to find a good line of both. You can never have too much when it comes to a driving game. Unless you don't have enough of something. If every single road on this map was dirt, it would die fast. You can't have too much of one thing. But you can never have enough of everything. Until it's equivalent to real life. I understand for Forza it's very complicated to find that equality amongst driving disciplines. But as a driver, in real life, and in Forza, I feel it is my duty to speak on this. Because the actual physics of this game, you know, it feels pretty good. The motorsport physics, I can't wait to see what the new motorsport physics will feel like, but they definitely lean towards more the simulated side. While this is more of a everybody can hop in and drive type of feel. But even then, I still think the first thing that we should do in every Forza is start from nothing. Start from a beat little Civic, a beat little Sylvia, whatever. That would be so nice. Allow true progression. You know, give us the history, give us good knowledge of why we should put this part into our car versus this part. Not just throw a bunch of parts on the shop screen and say, here you go. But I love driving. So yeah, I will find my fun. Because this game is great. Beyond how it could be better, or what makes it worse than other Forzas previously, it's still a good game. And everything that has ever happened in Forza development has led to this. And this map is good. Good roads. Good equality of disciplines. And very beautiful scenery. It just makes me very excited to see what's next. Where's the next map? What are your guys' thoughts? But I've been seeing a lot of people say Germany, which could be interesting. I really want a Switzerland map. That would be so nice, but at the same time, that might be too mountainous. But I think that would be such a beautiful map. Let me know a map you would like. It's been a while since we've been in the US, you know. I could do like California or something. I would prefer the PNW, like Seattle or something, and then just the Pacific Northwest. That'd be great. They want something a little more lively and a little more vibrant. But at the same time, I want something a little more real. Like everything is so bright and beautiful. But in real life, you know, there's times where things can be so dull. And that makes it beautiful. But I hope you enjoyed this nice little conversation. This is going to be episode 1. I enjoy doing this, and I hope you do too. And if you don't, well, guess what? I'm still going to upload these videos. So, you better watch them. Nevertheless, these videos are just so you guys get a little opening inside my mind, and so I can have some conversations with you. I will see you guys very soon. Have a great day.